Morning, Finley Dreamers.
Good morning, Mrs. Adams. And good morning, Finley Scholars.
Good morning, Mr. Miller.
Good morning, Finley family.
Good morning, Mr. Kirby. Yesterday, I visited classrooms to ask about a specific question. I asked how many people walk to Finley or walk home from Finley. And the reason I asked that is because our whole school district is looking at student safety. Do students know the best way to get to school and get home? And when I mean the best way, I mean the safest way, where there's a crossing guard, or there's a street light, or there's a sidewalk. All of those things help us keep safe. And that's why even in parent pickup, we're always reminding students to stay on the sidewalk and don't go to the car until the car has stopped and an adult is helping you. All those things that we do, that helps keep everybody safe. Because can you imagine what it would feel like if somebody got hurt and we thought, oh, we should have told them about wearing a bike helmet. We should have told them about waiting for a car to stop. Or we should have told them about crossing at the corner instead of in the middle of the street. So because the weather's getting nicer and more students are walking, that's why we're thinking about our walking safety as well as our riding safety. So some of you will get maps and you'll be able to talk with this about your family. Some of you will be walking to North High tomorrow and you'll be using that safe route. And some of you will be riding your bikes as it gets nicer, either to school or around the neighborhood in the summer. And when Mr. Miller talks about safety, we mean all sorts of safety in the school and outside of school. So it sure is great to know that everybody's paying attention to that.
Yes, and that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today. Safety could also mean feeling safe. And I talked to the third graders, Mrs. Iggy's class today, about that already. Of course, they have great answers. You know, they've talked before on here about so many things in that area. The one thing I think is just as important is how to take a break or practicing how to do that. That in a ways could be safety in a way too. You know, you're thinking ahead of time what you need to do when you're feeling not as good as you usually do. And you need to take that break to get prepared for the rest of the day. And just like you practice, you know, reading words, reading at a faster rate, or math facts, for example, you need to prepare and practice or rehearse like drama club does of how to take a break or when to take a break. And Brooklyn, can you come up here and talk about that a little bit more? She has many examples of how she was able to do that in her past, and now she's at a point where she can easily know when and how to take a break. So, oh, thank you so much, Brooklyn.
When I try to stay calm, I mostly remember what my mom and my dad, my daycare people, taught me about when someone does something that I'm scared of. I shouldn't just run away and go hide. I should stay calm and then go talk to a grown-up, even if it's an aunt and uncle, even a cousin, that you know you can stay safe around.
And see, that kind of fits into everything we've been talking about with safety. You kind of combined everything, you know, being safe inside, but being safe outside too with everybody in your environment. I love how you did that, but it takes practice. It takes time where you can get to that point where you can go to that person and say, I need a break and I know I need it and I know how to take it at this point, correct? Beautiful way to explain that to the whole audience out there. And then today, we got another great thing that's going to happen just in this second is Gideon. Come over here and do this shout out. You know what to do. Okay, come over in the camera.
I have a shout out.
Shout out.
From my kids participating in this show, or really walk up play, and for giving the third, second, first, and kindergartners all this thing to enjoy.
That's great. Yes. And they feel like they must feel like they're in a safe place because it's a risk to get in front of people and speak, right? So it's a great shout out, Gideon, and a great segue here on our discussion about safety, since we will be, since third, fourth, and fifth, who are not in the play, second, third, fourth, and fifth will be walking down to North High. We've picked the safest route, yet we still need to make sure that we're all following directions, walking calmly and in control in a line, and following those words that we're grown-ups will hear, because we will be with you to keep you safe. But it's very important. And when I think of when groups have gone on field trips, how important that is. And I'm thinking ahead even to Friday, when first grade will go to Drake University. And it will be so important that we're safe and thinking about safety and thinking about our space when we're getting on the bus, when we're getting off of the bus, when we're going into a college classroom, when we're participating in those activities. It's real important to follow those directions, because that's what most of the adults are thinking first with safety, because Mr. Miller's done such a good job reminding us that first we think about safety, and then we think about safety and how we feel, and then we can get on to all the fun stuff, right? So speaking of getting along with the fun stuff, man, I am so excited to think about the future, because third grade, someday, I see you all having fun in
College!
That's right. So let's have a college cheer. You ready? 1, 2, ready, go. 2, 4, 6, 8. When does fifth grade graduate?
20, 20, 33.
2, 4, 6, 8. When does fourth grade graduate?
20, 34.
2, 4, 6, 8. When does third grade graduate?
20, 35.
2, 4, 6, 8. When does second grade graduate?
20, 36.
2, 4, 6, 8. When does first grade graduate?
20, 37.
2, 4, 6, 8. When does kindergarten graduate?
20, 38.
Finley Dreamers, dream big!
Dream